Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Where's the beef? We found it. We found it. And we're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects. I love beef. Joining us is Wendy Taggart from Burgundy, Pasture Beef. Thank you for coming on the show.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Well, you have a very unique concept. And you and I met several years ago. I put you on my radio show. And you're back. And I want to hear about the growth of the company. Tell us more about Burgundy Pasture Beef.
Well, in a nutshell, who we are, we're very vertically integrated. We raise the cattle, we age, cut, and package, and we're primarily in the direct retail business, so we have 2 retail stores, one in Dallas, one in Fort Worth. Of course, a website where we do e-commerce. We'll ship all over the country, but our primary focus is in the state of Texas, specifically the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
And when we talk about the taste, there is a difference between what they're serving at a fast food restaurant and what you guys are serving up.
Yeah, absolutely. We are 100% grass-fed. What that means to us, and we are purists, is natural habitat, natural diet. A cow's natural diet, it's a herbivore, and it's grass. So that's there's a lot more people today hear the term grass-fed connected to beef a lot, and there's been a lot of misinformation, marketing privilege where that term will be used with beef that's really not 100% grass-fed. And that's who we are. No antibiotics and hormones ever. So in my opinion, as a beef, it's beef in its purest natural sense for its flavor profiles, everything. And then you can even take it a step further and say you grow your product with the seasons because the grass is what produces beef. And you have different plants at different seasons of the year, which makes it all a very interesting thing. And I grew up in, or before we did grass-fed, we were a part of the commercial agriculture scene, and really never believed that you could produce good quality beef just on grass. I mean, it's a misnomer that cows need grain, and it actually changes some of the nutritional elements of the beef. I was, after doing this for 3 or 4 years, really astounded at the quality that the beef could be on grass. So from a culinary perspective, from a health perspective, been in love with that idea ever since.
Yes, and I had the privilege of being a customer of yours when I visited your Dallas store. It smelled in your mouth goodness. We have a clip that we want to show you. It gives more information about the company.
Okay.
Our mission here at the Texas Grass-Fed Association is to promote the production and consumption of Texas grass-fed beef. In our research of how different producers bring grass-fed beef to market, we couldn't help but notice the fine work Burgundy Pasture Beef of Grandview, Texas has done in this arena. They are the only producers in Texas, not to mention possibly the whole country, whose operation is vertically integrated, meaning they raise and produce their own beef, do their own processing, and market their beef in their own retail stores. It's been years of hard work, but through their insistence on the quality and integrity of their product, Burgundy has developed a fine reputation and a strong, loyal following in the Dallas-Fort Worth grass-fed market. Meet John and Wendy Taggart, owners of Burgundy Pasture Beef.
In 1999 is when we made the decision to head towards the grass-fed product, and we finished a few cattle that first year, but it was a learning curve.
We started out, we just at the ranch. We would have a couple of head processed. We home delivered. That was our way to get meat to people in town. And we put a website out there, and people just, had to email us and say what they wanted. And we started out selling 20-pound mixed cut packages because I realized pretty quick that, you get a lot less steaks than you get ground beef, so we had to solve that issue. I look at it as a very consumer-driven business. I mean, we're not taking our information to produce from the commercial industry or from even restaurants or really even grocery stores. We're taking it directly from consumers that are purchasing to prepare foods in their home.
Wow, and the shops are so clean, and you really have an attention to detail. I wanted to ask you about the pandemic, and of course everybody's holed up at home, and they're using Amazon, and they're those people who did not order before suddenly had to order to get food. What happened to your business?
Well, we essentially, it was about the middle of March, and probably that week before, a lot of major announcements went out, and people really got into this mode of, oh, I better go stock the freezer and stock the bathroom and everything else. I called John and I said, how many people do we have working this weekend at the stores? I've got this is before these announcements. I think we're going to have a busy weekend. I was just starting to get that. And we did. And we essentially, within 2 weeks, were completely out of our stocked inventory. I mean, frozen and chilled.
Wow.
Everything. Both stores, everything we had sent up from Grandview that was and for us, it's we're small scale, so it's a pretty, for staffing and all else.
Yes.
It takes some time and thought of how you escalate that. And if you're processing more cattle, we have a very definitive schedule, over the next year.
Yes.
Of what we want to do. So we had to think about this really hard within 2 weeks. The website, which, we don't do a tremendous amount of shipping, but we certainly want it to be a part of our business. We were overwhelmed with ship orders. And then quickly, I had to react, well, do we really have that? And so we sent out an email to everybody we had on our email list for shipping and retail and said, just temporarily, we left the website up, of course, but they weren't able to order on it. We said, we just temporarily, we have a lot of orders. If you placed an order, you will get your order. We'll be in touch very soon. And we had to not allow orders in for about a week.
Really?
Just to, yeah.
I guess
it overwhelmed us.
I mean, I guess that's a good problem to have because you got a whole bunch of new customers.
As long as you communicate
yes.
with people and let them know that our customers were, we had a few people that are, every week customers, and they were disappointed that they were having a hard time getting what they normally get.
Yes.
But I'm of the opinion that as long as you're very transparent with people, they understand that. That's what is different about us, where we didn't have an option to just order more beef from the factory,
Yes. Exactly.
So
we're going to show some more delicious pictures of some of your product on the screen as we're talking. I mean, you can really tell the difference between this and something that you might get at even a high-end steakhouse, can't you?
Maybe. I mean, from flavor profiles and in all ways, there are going to be some differences. Absolutely.
Yes, and I have to imagine that the paleo diet and keto and
very
caveman diet,
Yeah.
you're probably more popular now than you've ever been.
Well, yes, those types of dieting programs are, the product we produce, it fits right in to a lot of those programs, which is, it's real food.
Yeah, and I have to imagine once you get a customer, they just continue to be a customer.
Well,
you probably don't lose too many.
Yeah, I don't know the exact, one of the discussions we've had, all the new people that came in, and a part of that's a function of, well, there's a beef shop and I couldn't get it down the street, I'm going to go in and see if I can. They didn't know we were grass-fed. So we've had that discussion, and we have an opportunity to grow because of this situation, because a lot of new people were driven to us that didn't know about us before. And we're real interested to know, we're trying to assess how many of those people that we could retain, which that would be, part of our growth trajectory.
Absolutely.
So we're right in the middle of trying to assess all this now.
And
so all good things. Though.
3 locations right now. Mm-hmm. Any plans to have a 4th?
Well, that's a part of our current discussion too, is how, occasionally you got to sit and redefine yourself. I mean, my goal, one of my goals is to, while continuing to make our product as convenient as we can to customers, the way I look at Burgundy, our market really is the state of Texas.
Yes.
Not that we make the occasional shipment to California, New York, all over. But I think that's really what we want to focus on. If we did another retail store, our next location would be Austin.
Really?
Yes.
That'd be wonderful.
Yeah.
So tell everybody where the 3 locations are now.
Our Dallas location is on Ross Avenue at the corner of Ross and Hall, right outside of downtown. And it's been there for 3.5 years now, I believe. Our Fort Worth location was our first location. It's on West 7th Street, just west of downtown, probably 1.5 miles. So both of those have been, we're a destination store. So.
And then the home office is?
Yeah, in Grandview, which is about 30 miles south of Fort Worth. And that's where we age, cut, and package our beef the old-fashioned way. But we have a storefront there as well. Yes.
Well, I think you are outstanding, and we're going to put up the website so people can either order online or get plugged in so that they can visit one of your locations. Wendy Taggart, Burgundy, Pasture Beef, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
You bet. And that's it for now. We'll see you next time.